wanted to do a backup video for this phase 2. Kind of wanted to, I understood there's some confusion and I wanted to maybe clear up a few things. So first of all, when you receive the Word doc that you get, that's not meant to be completely copied. Select everything, copy it, and then go into HTML and replace it all. The idea is you've done some work on your HTML, and what I'd like you to do is to go in and let me find okay. So here's the file that I gave you for phase 2. Now, if you copied everything, you would blow it. It wouldn't work. There's garbage all over the place in here, but this is going to be important. So the idea is to keep your HTML tags in phase 2 and go through this document and replace, like for H1, copy this H1 out. I've just Control-C copied. And then I'll go in here to my H1s, if I can find them. Here it is. And I'll highlight it, and it already has Chicken Danielle, but I'll paste it in. So now I haven't messed with my H1 tags, but I have replaced the name. And then when I go down to this block quote, I'm going to go grab, this block quote out of here and then copy that out. And without messing with my tags, I'll just paste that in this area. Okay. So that's first thing first. You've built a lot, and phase 1 looks similar to phase 2. So don't ruin what you've done. Just put in the new language. And then we can start talking about, well, let me just go down here. So remember, the container is that big container that's 700 pixels wide that keeps all of our material within the 700 pixel width area, right? So it won't go outside of that. This div bar, this div called div underscore fixed underscore bar is this purple bar at the top that I've made. Now, let me just mention these class names. They're whatever you want to put in there. I could put in whatever, Chad's fixed bar, doesn't matter. As long as that class and what I have in the CSS refer to each other. Okay, does that make sense? So in other words, let me just put in Chad purple bar. Doesn't matter, right? So notice this vanished. The purple bar vanished because that is referring to that old one. I'm going to copy that. I'll go into my CSS and let's see if I can find that purple bar. There's the container. There's my logo. There's that bar. It's a div fixed bar, but I'm going to change that to this Chad purple bar. And then there it is again, because those names match up, right? So these don't really matter, this class. It's just as long as they're referred to as the same thing. And then this div logo, and it goes from here to here. Here's the div opening, here's the div closing. I've called it div logo, and then I've referred to this image in here that is an SVG, which is this guy right here. And I have a class Italy underscore mag, so I can control where this thing is placed inside the div called with a class of div underscore logo. Okay. And then here's the next little div that I've made, and that actually goes down to probably here. So this is a social media and it should be nav and social media. I just called it social media, but it's this khaki bar right at the top. Goes all the way to the very right, to the very left. And inside that, I have two other divs. One div called the div nav, and that's just whatever I want to put it. It's not like you can Google that. It's just, so it's this part right here, this div nav. And then I've made another div called SM social media underscore icons, which is this little div over here. And I've made those names so I can control where those are placed. Now this navigation is a little bit tricky. Now notice it's an unordered list. And then I have the list items in there. And so it's just a list, but the trick is this is displayed horizontally. So how is that actually done? Well, you could do a quick search in W3 schools. I'm going to save that one because I'm going to come back to that. Save that because I'm going to come back to it. So W3 schools, and this is going to be horizontal navbar. Horizontal, sorry, there we go, horizontal navbar. Let's see if this, maybe this is the one I want. Okay, horizontal navigation bar, great. So this tells us how to make a horizontal nav bar. Here's our coding. We can look at the coding in here. And I think I've mentioned this before, but when they have a single document like this, they have their CSS inside the style area. So here's a CSS rule about the unordered list and a CSS style about the line item. So we have our CSS on an external document in the code pen, but regardless, this is kind of the same thing. So this is how it comes out with this CSS and with this styling, unordered list. But let's say I want to keep this as an all cap. We've learned how to do that already. Let's say we want to have bars in between. Well, that's a little bit trickier. Let's see, use CSS horizontal navbar with quote bar, which is the / right above the return key. Separators. Oh, I misspelled that, shoot. Okay, so there's a few different folks that do it differently. Well, let's see what this person does, or this discussion. I'd like a separator of a bar between menu items. And so someone gives him, so this person used a border right to do it. I would prefer I found better use when it's a bar like right between the delete key and the return key, that type of bar. So let me show you what I found for my bar. It's the purple bar, Italy Magazine, Navbar. Okay. So position is relative, and that means it's based on this Italy Magazine, which is absolute. Anyway, so this is the nav bar, so it's the whole khaki bar. Do I have anything in here? Not really. Here's that the div nav unordered list, which is specifically this right here. The list style type is none, because they usually have bullets in front of it or numbers for an ordered list, but if we choose none for that, that'll work. The margins, I've pushed it over to the right a little bit, put some padding on it, kept my font weight light and my font size a little larger than my paragraph. And then for each of these line items, the display is inline, that keeps it horizontal, and text align left. Then for the unordered list line item plus the line item before. So the big issue is, hey, you can put these bars before them. So this bar is the bar before restaurant and this bar is before lifestyle, but recipe should not have a bar. And that's why let's see. And that's what, so maybe it's like after it. Is it after or before? I honestly can't remember. Well, you have the code now, so you can play with it and see exactly. There's just a lot of ways to do it, guys, is what it's coming down to. There's a lot of ways to make this happen. And my way isn't always the best way, and this guy here's way isn't always the best way. But it's good to kind of see what you want, right? And what works for you. So, and I did want to get to these social media icons. So what I've done here is I've Googled W3 School social media icons, and this is the super cool way of doing it, because what they're doing is referencing a font that here I chose Try It, and this comes up. So you can see that here they have a link which they've called style sheet, but here's it brings in a font. It references a font called Awesome. And here's your padding and all that. And then when it comes to this W3 School, W3 School, and then you go, this is our HTML. Sorry, man, I am just bleh. Sorry. This is more CSS talking about this identity. That's what a dot is down here. So if we go down to our HTML, oh, sorry, it's a class. Oh man, I'm so off. Don't only listen to half of what I'm saying today. So I'm affecting this Twitter one right here. This will let me change the background to different colors. And then we run it. Okay. So, and I'm not sure if khaki, I'm not sure how to spell khaki. Oh, well, that's kind of a yellow, isn't it? Anyway, you get the idea. So you would use these as your CSS along with this, and you'll have to make some adjustments. And then you'll use this as your HTML down here. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. So hopefully this is helping a little bit. Notice that I am bringing in the container is relative and the logo height is relative. So I am using these different positions for the divs to help move my things around. Okay. All right, guys, I hope this is good. If it's not, please email me. Let's get on a Zoom call and get it worked out. Okay. Thank you. Bye.